All right, Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Episode 2 and 3 dropped at the same time. I believe it was meant to be 1 and 2 were supposed to drop at the same time, but they changed it, and only Episode 1 was out last week. And they dropped 2 and 3 this week, so that's what we're doing. This is going to be a bit of a longer one now, so strap in. Here we go. Episode 2. So, we start off seeing the aftermath of last week's episode where we see Cherry being led out on a stretcher. He's got like an oxygen mask on to help him breathe because of his heart attack, and he's being sent to the hospital. I pray to God, when I saw this, I was like, please get rid of Cherry and don't ever let me see him again. He just stays in the hospital forever. Sadly, that's not the case. So Daredevil is looking over this, and he's holding Bullseye's knife, right, that said, "You're welcome." We actually then go to see a church. I'm shocked as you. We're acknowledging the Catholic faith of fucking Daredevil by going to a church. Something we didn't do at all last season, and a bunch of the Born Again defenders were like, "What are you talking about? They honored his fate. What do you mean? He looked at a church once. He didn't even go inside." The original Netflix show was, they put his faith integral to the plot. He would go to the father to ask him, right, questions, trying to be as vague as he possibly could until it was too much, and he had to just reveal everything. His mother was a big part of season 3. He spent majority of season 3 in the church, living in the church. But we finally get to see a church. I was shocked as all hell. I'm like, oh my fucking God, are we going inside a church finally? And Bullseye is there, Poindexter, and he's asking for Sister Maggie. And I'm like, oh my God, we're acknowledging Matt Murdock's mother finally. She's apparently in Rome right now, so she's not there. That's their way of writing her out of this show. And Poindexter pretty much goes to a priest and's like, I need absolution, is how the episode begins. So then Kingpin is training for, like, he's apparently going to do like a fight. And Buck kind of tells him, all right, sir, a bunch of Vigilante Task Force members were killed. We believe it is Poindexter, all that type of stuff. The trainer for Fisk keeps egging him on, and then Fisk punches him so hard he goes flying into a wall. I don't know what this trainer thought he was doing. Like, I get he's trying to, like, be like, hey, no, like, no breaks. We gotta keep going. Gotta get you in fighting shape. All that type of stuff. And, like, trying to egg him on and make him more angry. But, guys, this is fucking Kingpin. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, dude? Do you not think he wasn't just gonna beat the shit out of you after that? Then we have, like, a scene where Buck tells Kingpin it'd be a lot easier if you just told the world Matt Murdock is Daredevil. And Kingpin actually says that he's not going to do that because he does owe Matt Murdock for saving his life in season 1. And he says Daredevil can be a dangerous fugitive, but Matt Murdock will not be. So I actually liked that because it does show a bit of, like, honor that Kingpin does have. He then does make a message, like a statement. And he pretty much says that Matt Murdock, the lawyer who was shot and saved his life, survived Bullseye's assassination, and he praised him as a hero. Matt Murdock's a hero, and he's asking New Yorkers to help me find Matt Murdock, right? So it's a very genius plan because now he has separated Matt Murdock and Daredevil from the public eye, and he now has 2 different groups searching for Matt from all fronts. He's got the people who hate Daredevil and the rest of the task force hunting Daredevil, and then he's got the people who want to help looking for Matt Murdock. It's a very good and nice plan. So Matt and Karen are overlooking, like, some of the some stuff that's going on in the docks, and they got a bunch of Vigilante Task Force members there, and they're all overseeing, like, the blue collar workers, like the dock workers, put the stuff off the boat, and it's diapers, and they're like, well, that's a fucking ring, right? That's not actually diapers. So Kingpin sends some Vigilante Task Force members to Cherry's hospital room to kill him, get rid of him. But Cherry has a bunch of his friends in the room, so they can't do anything. That is a smart plan. And then when the task force members go to leave and they go in the elevator, they are killed by Bullseye, who still wears that awful fucking suit. I hate his suit so much, dude. I hate his suit so much. Just put him in the fucking Put him in the black and white. Come on. He looks like ass in that fucking suit, dude. So then, the dead bodies are found and they kind of tell Kingpin what's going on. And now Kingpin's like, well, god damn it. So we try to figure out what is behind the fake Kingpin stuff going on. With like that fake Kingpin who's like doing like who's doing like the anti-Fisk stuff. And we have Daniel, Kingpin's new little bitch, who is trying to figure out where it came from, right? And he's like freaking out about like, what's the cause of this? He eventually talks to BB over dinner, and he asks her, if it's you, you're putting both of us in danger, right? And she starts trying to like get under his skin, like, are you scared of them? I mean, I wouldn't blame them if you would. You must have listened to some of the theories, like, trying to like put doubt in his mind. We do actually find out who is doing the fake Kingpin stuff, by the way. It is BB. Yeah, it is BB. BB is the fake Kingpin. Which it's like, oh, okay. I am disappointed though that you revealed it in episode 2. I think that's a mystery you could have kept. Who is doing it? Is it Daniel? Is it BB? Is it what's her name? Like the Sheila. Yeah, Sheila, because she's like his like secretary or something, right? Like, is it her? Like, you could have, or is it someone new? Like, you could have had a mystery going and you just get rid of that entire mystery about who it was in this episode, which I'm like, come on, man, really? So we then and this is like my least favorite part of the episode. We go to Angela, the niece of White Tiger, and her aunt go to a convenience store. There's some teenagers who are causing up a fucking mess. The owner of the convenience store puts a gun out on them and says, get your asses out of my fucking store. I don't tolerate this shit. Which, you know what? Based as fuck. Put the fucking gun up to them and tell these motherfuckers to get the fuck out. Now, the vigilante task force come and they arrest the guy because he's, putting a gun at kids. Which, whether he was based or not, you don't do that, right? And then they go after the kids because they're like, hey, you're involved in this too. Angela's aunt tries to defend the kids, like, and she grabs the officer, and he's like, yeah, that's assault an officer. You're going to jail. Now, is it assault of an officer? No, it's not. This is a way for them to be more like, make them assholes. But God, man, I can't. Just every time I see that, and then they lead her away into the van, and I'm like, guys, the subtlety is just, it's so subtle. I don't know what the fuck this is supposed to be. It's crazy. I don't know. It's a mystery, wrapped inside of an enigma, wrapped inside a question. And then Angela goes to Kristen McDuffie, asks for help with her aunt, and Kristen shows her the White Tiger suit. And Angela goes, it's pretty tough to be a hero right now, huh? And then they like glanced at the suit. I'm like, yeah, it is. That's why you shouldn't be a hero. You should fuck off, actually. You should leave the show. Man, I'm dreading her putting on that White Tiger outfit. I'm so fucking dreading it, dude. It's gonna fucking... Oh, my God. So, we have Vanessa, and she has, like, she's having, like, paranoia about Poindexter being after her, and some of it's warranted because he is actually watching her, but other times she's just like paranoid, and she has a dream with him killing her, and then she tries to talk to Fisk, and she's like, don't you think we might be better if we like left New York, maybe just went on our own, went to our island that we own and just kind of like stay there, and because you can tell she's frightened, right? And Kingpin's like, would we still succeed away from all this? And she's like, I believe so. And they did have a talk earlier where he does mention having a kid to her, right? Because he's like, we have all this stuff, but we have no heir. So I'm like, oh, are we gonna have the son? Are we gonna end this season with maybe Vanessa getting pregnant and their son being born at the end of next season? Maybe. I would like to see that. I think that'd be pretty good if we did that. There is a good line where she does ask him, how many more worlds do you want to conquer? And he goes, how many are there? That's a good one. I like that. So then Karen and Matt are having a nice quiet moment at Josie's. They're dancing to a record. And then Matt hears from outside the vigilante task force members arrive at Josie's home and they go to arrest her. He shows up as Daredevil, fights them off. Karen escapes Josie's bar where other task force members are coming in. And this part was fucking dumb. She goes outside. There's another task force member there and he tells her to stop, and then she beats him up and knocks him out. What the fuck? No fucking way is that happening. And I know that they tried to establish in episode 1, oh, she's training now to fight. She isn't beating a fully armored man. Okay? She's not beating a fully armored guy. She's not fucking Daredevil. She's Karen Page. I will say the fight scene when Daredevil storms into the bar, right, to fight the task force members, that's a good scene. The fight scene is really good. I'm like, great. I'd love to see more Daredevil in my Daredevil show. So then Karen shows him that she has that task force member she beat up with a hood covering over his face. And she's like, maybe it's time we started hunting them. And that's the episode. Is it as boring as last week's? No. Is it better? No. It's still just like... I mean... Let me put it this way. Less bullshit in this one. It is a bit more story focused. I will definitely say that. It is a bit more story focused. But I don't think that this is better. I think it's exactly the same with me, which is like a 5. That's how I think of these 2 episodes so far we've had, is a 5 out of 10. That's pretty much where I'm at. And I hate the fact that I have to think that way about Daredevil, because the Netflix Daredevil show, every episode, at the barest minimum was an 8. Right? This show, fucking dude, they're lucky to get an 8. They'd be so fucking lucky to get an 8. The only episodes of season 1 I think are even like considered like really good is the first and last episode. That's it. And like so far, bro, I am so fucking just not interested in this show at all. As I was watching the scene where Angela's aunt gets taken away, I'm like, why do I watch this show? I was literally like, why do I watch this show? And I just contemplated stopping, right? But I'm committed to this shit because I love Daredevil. So I will watch this because someone's got to fucking talk about this. No one else is gonna. I gotta do it, okay? I'm committed to this shit because I love Daredevil. That's what I'm committed to, so I'm gonna do it. Now, I did wonder while watching this episode, because they're doing the whole thing where Kingpin's like he wants to separate Matt Murdock and Daredevil, is I believe it was rumored that season 3 is gonna adapt the Devil on Cell Block C arc, where Matt Murdock is taken to prison for his crimes of being Daredevil. So I'm assuming what's gonna happen is by the end, Kingpin's just gonna say, fuck it, Matt Murdock's Daredevil. Matt gets arrested and he goes to prison, and then we start season 3 with that arc. So we'll see. That is episode 2. Now we can move on to episode 3. So episode 3, guys, it's a shocker. Something happened. Like, oh my god, we actually had something happen. Not a lot, but something happened. So what happened is we picking up where we left off, where Karen and Matt are interrogating that task force agent. So the task force agent wants to help them, and he gives them like his key card and everything. He's like, oh, they're going too far. I wonder if this is a bit of fanfic of how they believe some certain agents are in real life. I believe his name is Alan Saunders, gives them the key, and he's like, you have to stop him, and all that type of stuff. So we have Jack's trial, the swordsman's trial. So Kirsten is only able to see Jack like 2 days before the actual trial, so she doesn't have a lot of time to make a case. And they show that apparently I think the judge has been bought off, or she's being like coerced into doing it. Of course, the judge who doesn't want to do it is a woman, and the 2 representatives she has beside her are men who are all for it. Oh, okay, just have to throw that in there, huh? Fuck you. Jack is found guilty and sentenced to the detention facility. Now we get a thing about Heather in this episode. So Heather actually had development that I did not hate. I actually quite enjoyed the development they had with her. So what they did with Heather is she has Muse's mask still, and she's like, I believe she's gonna mount it like on her wall. And I did not like this theory did not come to my come to my mind before, but I was listening to Nerdrotic, and Nerdrotic said that there is a female muse now in the comic books. And he said they're probably going to make Heather Glenn the new muse. And I just went, oh my god. There's no goddamn way. So yeah, there is apparently now a female muse in the comics. It's very recent. It's recent. There is a female muse. And I was like, no. Because of course there is. Of course there's got to be a female muse. They got to make a female version of fucking everything nowadays. So after just looking it up, I hear her name is Morgan Witter, and she debuted in January of last year, Daredevil Unleash Hell. So she's apparently like being like, I believe she's like coerced by Muse. Like Muse is like he's like a spirit speaking to her kind of thing. But it looks like that they're gonna probably do a female Muse, and Heather will be the female Muse, is what like that theory is. And I'm like, you know what? You know what? I can totally see that. That's a good theory. I can totally see that happening. So another thing they do with Heather is they really try and show that, you know, she's got a bit of a friendship with Vanessa. And Vanessa's how, like, you know, Heather's been like now pro Fisk is because Vanessa whispers in her ear, right? So what they do is they show Vanessa. Vanessa seems to like kind of hook her up with Buck. Because when they're at a gala, it's the governor's gala, which we will get to the governor. She like makes Heather sit next to Buck. So it seems like Vanessa's trying to get her attached to Buck because Buck is, you know, purely loyal to them. So through Buck, they can also continue to influence Heather. And I actually liked the scene with Buck and Heather. It was good where he's like sitting there and he's talking about how it's like a court, right? Wilson Fisk is the king, right? Vanessa is the queen. Daniel, while he may seem like the jester, may be, you know, smarter than he seems, you know, and Buck himself is the knight, right? He and Heather are the courtiers who were, you know, each brought on for their certain abilities, right? I liked that scene. I really did like the scene. They have this part where the governor proposes a toast to Wilson Fisk, and Vanessa's like, she's only, you know, arguing with you because she fears you. And it's like, you know, like it's a really good scene. I did enjoy that scene between them. Like I genuinely was like, yeah, this is good. This is really good. I'm really liking that. Sadly, I can't say that about much of this episode. So what we find is Daredevil contacts Kirsten after her loss at Jack's trial, and he asks her to tell him. He's like, you went to go see Jack earlier earlier. You must know where the facility is. And she tells him, well, they put on blackout goggles on me, so I didn't see much. And he's like, well, I can work with that. So she tells him like noises that she heard, and he uses that to get into the facility. He finds everyone who's been detained by the task force, and he frees them all. There's a big battle with him beating up the task force agents, which I did enjoy, because I'm like, again, oh my god, he's actually being Daredevil. It's crazy. Charlie Cox looks awesome in that suit, by the way. Like, just looking at him, I'm like, oh my god, he looks great. If only this was in a better TV show. So he then, you know, he frees everyone. They all go outside, and Karen arrives with a stolen, like, armored vehicle that they don't show how she took it, but she found it. And she is with Angela, and they're already making Angela now. She's joining the resistance. She stole guns and comms and gave it to Karen, and I'm like, oh no, and she's in a pseudo white tiger outfit where she's got a white sweater on, and she's got like a black, you know, like some other black clothing on. I'm like, oh, good fucking god. And they're trying to make her seem heroic. She's like, I have to fight because someone has to. Yeah, that someone isn't you, sweetheart. Mrs. 90 pounds soaking fucking wet with zero training. Yeah, that isn't fucking you. So we don't follow up on like the fake Wilson Fisk at all. Now that we know it's BB, we don't follow up on that at all. We get a new one, but we don't follow actually up on that at all. On like, you know, Daniel trying to find her. It's just more like they just lip service it, and Daniel goes like, oh yeah, I'm looking for it. But to get to the governor, because she was introduced in this episode, of course it's a woman. She's given like the charter of Red Hook, and she's like, well, because it is out of the jurisdiction in New York, right? And it's a free port, but that can be overturned by the governor, which is her. If Fisk goes, well, I hope for the safety of New York you don't suggest doing such a thing, So it's like, oh, he's either gonna threaten the governor eventually, or he'll get her on side, or she will eventually just pull it from him, which is, knowing this show and how they don't really do much stakes to just reveal shit, probably by next episode she'll just fucking remove his access. Speaking of the port, a bunch of workers are on the docks loading up a new shipment, and once Fisk gets told, hey, Daredevil showed up and he freed everyone from the detention center, he orders the task force to blow up the fucking boat, and that's what they do. They kill all the workers, all the task force people that are there too. They just kill them all, and that they're probably going to paint this as vigilantism. It's Daredevil, it's Karen Page, all that stuff. And that's the episode. No follow-up on Bullseye, no follow-up on Daniel trying to find out who is the fake Wilson Fisk. Yeah, but there is some stuff, like Jack gets sentenced and then he's like immediately freed. So I'm like, oh, so it's meant nothing then. Okay, awesome, great. A lot of girl boss energy this episode. I could feel the estrogen was starting to come through the screen. Thankfully, no Cherry. I'm happy about that. That's it. That's the episode. It's better than the first two. I'll give it that. Still not that good though. Like, if the first two episodes are like a 5, this is a 5.5. It's about where it is. And again, I question every time. I'm like, why do I watch this fucking show? That's because, like I said, I'm committed. So there we go. That is Born Again episodes 2 and 3. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I shall see you all next week for more of this.